What was the highest waste of money that you don't regret? A quick 7-day trip to Maui in February a couple years ago with one of my teenage daughters, who happened to be free the same week I had off. Work was grinding me down and I needed a break. My wife and the rest of the family couldn't go. They were working or in school. The tickets were expensive. $850 each for bare bones economy narrow rock hard seats. It was a 12-hour flight that was packed to the brim. I was getting bed sores by the time we arrived. We rented snorkeling gear and a car, and spent every day from dawn to dusk snorkeling, sitting on the beaches and hiking in the mountains. We did the Hana Road, the 7 sacred pools and the Halikala Volcano National Park at sunset, and took tons of photos. We ate spam musubi for breakfast, poke and somen noodles for lunch and loco moco for supper. Slept like babies with the windows open wide in the cool nighttime breezes. The best way to blow $5,000 ever. So much what I needed at that point in my life. My litter robot. Yes. I spent $600 on a cat tour. But my house never smells. I don't have to scoop litter. And I only have to empty the drawer once a week. Definitely worth it to me. Just shy of $20. 000 to go to Antarctica traveling solo, small cruise ship. More than I've spent on every other vacation I've taken combined. Was one of the best trips of my life. It also gave me enough space and clarity to realize how toxic my ex was to me so that I could find the strength to leave not long after I got back. I'll always want to go back to Antarctica. The inner peace I found there changed my life. I spend too much money on a big treadmill for a very small apartment. But I've ran 15-25 km on it every week for the past several years and it's been incredibly helpful both physically and mentally. Your downstairs neighbor's mental health is swiftly deteriorating. $800 for a front seat helicopter tour of Kauai for me and my wife. Totally worth it. Artwork. Can I always afford it? No. But my walls are full of original, 90% local art. They make me happy to look at. I'm sure I made the artist happy too. Board games. They're expensive. GE Opal Nugget Ice Maker. Dang thing cost more than my car payment but man oh man. I love Nugget Ice and I use it the heck out of it every day. I can't believe I'm going to spend $500 on an ice machine because of this post. How could you? Spending hundreds of euros on broken musical instruments because they were pretty. I have since bought spare parts and started repairing them. I found my destiny. $120 for a towel heater. I will never dry off with a cold towel again. Lego Death Star. Word. I got it when Amazon accidentally listed it for $125 for like 13 minutes one morning at 6 AM. I spent $3,000 for my wife to meet the Backstreet Boys and get front row seats. It is the best thing that has ever happened to her and the smile on her face after the show and look of pure bliss in someone who suffers often from anxiety was worth every cent. The extra I pay in rent for a water view. Completely worth it. Due to poor insulation and distance from the water heater, my shower is never properly warm in winter. I just bought a single endpoint tankless water heater for just my shower. Best $150 I ever spent. Could I really afford it? No. Did I need it? No. Do I love it? You bet your sweet bippy I do. Just bought a treadmill. There is a perfectly good street outside I could run on. Or I could pay for a gym membership for years and years. But now I can get a run in during my daughter's nap time. Or when it's cold. Or when I only have 30 minutes free and driving to and from the gym would eat up half of my time. I certainly could have made it work without this expense. But I really love it. $600 for an hour of laps, 3 of 20 minutes each, around the Nürburgring in Germany. It was open in the off season and there wasn't a single other car near me the whole time. 10/10 one of the most thrilling experiences of my life. Edit. I rented a car at the track, which is why it was so much. You can bring your own car or rent one there. But they don't allow commercial rental cars. Individual laps were I think 20 OA each at the time. Back in 2017 my family went on a road trip to Minnesota to visit my nana shortly before she passed. During our stay me and my little sister went to the Mall of America and bought whatever we wanted. Big ice cream cones, Lego store souvenirs, tickets to the aquarium, fare for every indoor amusement park ride, a doll from the American Girl store and eating an expensive lunch in the store with your new doll sitting at the table with us. Yeah little sis, it's all yours. I dropped over $300 in that one mall trip, but damn it was one of our best shopping days ever. We still talk about it to this day. I got into a stupid fight with my brother. So I found a game he had pledged on Kickstarter, Space Haven, and saw that for $360 I could write a pre-made character bio that would randomly show up. So I pledged it and wrote a character bio with his name and made him a flaming asshole. I have never played this game and don't want to. I watched somebody bet on all the numbers in roulette. One of the dumbest things I've ever witnessed. Seen someone do this while swearing how he's breaking even and drinking for free. For those who aren't familiar, roulette numbers pay 36/1 but the actual wheel has anywhere from 37-39 numbers in the form of 0, 0, 0, or 0, 0, 0. So your odds at paying the true odds of the spin. Anyways, this guy ignored everyone explaining why he wasn't breaking even until the wheel spun 0 once and he got wiped out. He sobered up real quick after that. Stax headphones. About $800 in 1987, but I still listen to them and they are unbelievably good. When I was younger I came into a sum of about $15K. I wasn't very careful with the money and other than putting $5K down on car, I blew the money here and there. But what I put the largest amounts toward were friends in need. I paid one friend's power bill just before it got shut off. I helped another friend keep her water on. I never could keep my hands on money for long, but I don't regret having wasted it helping friends. I got $27K and spent it on a solo cross-country road trip that led to me moving on the complete opposite side of the country from everyone I've ever known. I was in a dark place in my head. The original plan was to find a nice place to end my story. But the trip itself helped me reconsider. So absolutely no regrets to speak of. Edit. Didn't really expect this to receive this much notice. Thank you for the awards. And I'm sorry if I can't reply to them all. I'm currently kind of swamped. The summer after graduating high school, I won a decent amount of money playing online poker. Since I wasn't going off to college and all of my friends were, I decided to buy them all ridiculous going away gifts. A carpet, mailbox, toilet seat, etc. were among the gifts. The most expensive and ridiculous gift I bought on a whim was a massive wheel of cheese. Somewhere between $200-300. Little did I know at the time that cheese wheel would set off a yearly event called Cheesagiving, where our entire, much larger now with spouses and kids, friend group gets together to celebrate and partake in cheesy goodness. This year was our 17th, unfortunately all virtual due to COVID, and I genuinely hope it never ends. Travel. I've never regretted spending money on travel. Those are some of my favorite memories. I can't wait to be able to travel again. Dyson blow dryer. It's worth every penny. I have long hair down to my waist. It only takes me about 3 minutes to dry it. I think I spent around $1,000 on gifts over the last holiday season, including Secret Santa stuff on Imgur. Last year I got a really well paying job and I'm finally glad to be able to give back to people. I spent $56,000 on college for a degree I don't use. But I met my husband there, so I really can't complain. If I divide that over the nearly 25 years we've been married and consider that he's the best of dudes, it is a pretty good deal. I bet two 50 years old dudes $200 each. that they won't kiss each other. In a bar. In a deeply red Midwestern town. And yes, they did it. For 60 seconds. Little did you know. At a home inspector's recommendation, I had 2 sump pumps installed in our home's basement in case of water penetration. It was expensive not only to buy the sump pumps, but also to have the pump pits drilled and electric service supplied. Year after year, those pumps had never kicked in. But they're there. Ready to go. Just in case. A business class ticket on a 14-hour flight. I ate great food and slept like a boss. Made a huge difference to my trip as I didn't need to waste a day to recover. $300 hand-sewn Starfleet jacket. Went to a con with a seamstress and had her inspect the jacket. Her verification that it was quality work was the deciding factor. Spent like 30 minutes on the phone with the bank trying to prove this was me throwing away $300 in one go at a con 3 hours from my address. This may not seem like a lot of money to some, but I weighted 287 pounds. I lost 100 pounds and my reward was a 300. 00 pair of fry boots. I had been drooling over them for years and finally scrimped and saved to buy them. I told my husband it was my food money. Lol. It was actually my cigarette money. I had quit smoking a year before that but still faithfully put away 700 a day. I figured that I could always find cigarette money when I smoked, so I will keep finding it to save. I bought a Nintendo Wii that way too. I have never regretted using those boots. I love them. Let me add a note. I had help losing the weight. I had lap band surgery, which in of itself is another struggle. The weight came off pretty fast and now it's a bit of a struggle to keep it off. My greatest fear is gaining it back. I have a couple of sisters that had gastric bypass and gained their weight back. So that terrifies me. I am still about a size 14, which to me is healthy. I'm happy with that. This may not feel like much to some, but it was important for me. I got divorced in my late 20s and I bought an alimony subscription to help me date again. This was before free apps were a thing. It was way more money than I could afford at the time. But it helped me realize that I was wanted and people would be happy to get to know me and date me. It helped me move on from an emotionally abusive situation to repair my sense of self-worth. Visiting the NBA Finals while being an intern in the US. I'm from Germany originally. Tickets were $300 each. Had to drive back the 3 hours from Cleveland to Detroit at night to show up at work the next day, but damn. I'll never forget KD hitting the 3-pointer 45 seconds before the end. Friend spent $30 on a jukebox to play I Whip My Hair back and forth on loop for an hour in a bar. The bartender unplugged the machine. My wife and I were on our honeymoon in London in 2016. We had just gotten an influx of cash from friends and family. And we went out to dinner at the Savoy Grill. They had an absurdly overpriced tasting menu with the option of overpriced wine pairings. We ended up dropping about $600. And it was honestly the best meal I've ever had. The service was off the charts. With little stories about each course and its accompanying wine. And they had the timing down perfectly. Just a fantastic experience from top to bottom. And if we didn't do it then, on our honeymoon with a bunch of free money, we were never going to do it. I spent about $6 grand on MC DJ for my wedding. But he was the most professional MC I've ever met. He coordinated all the sound with the videographer, the caterers around the speeches, pre-planned all music and mixed songs to be the perfect length. My older sister is obsessed with the Witcher games, so I paid the main character's Geralt's voice actor to wish her a happy birthday. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up wholly. For those who asked. It was around €40 on Cameo, but I am very broke student. So for me that's expensive. And some people consider it wasted money because it's nothing physical and it's just a dude talking. But yeah, I feel like it's cooler than having her little sister just tell her every year how much he appreciates her. Voice actor seems like a really cool dude. He even made the effort to pronounce her name right. We speak Dutch and it's joke. As silly as that sounds. Edit 2. Since a friend told me about my post blowing up. If you know us personally, don't mention it to her. She doesn't use Reddit but her B-day is only in a few weeks. Close bracket. Edit 3. PFF, so many of these comments are sweet and funny. Will definitely show them to her on her day. My first university degree, but it was really my parents' money that I wasted. I don't do anything related to it now. I went back to get the degree that I wanted and everyone told me would be a waste of my potential afterwards. I now work in that field and love it. Moving away from home was one of the best things that happened to me because it allowed me to grow a lot as a person. And also my road bike. $4,000. But I love every second on it. I just paid our full $8K healthcare deductible to send my wife to rehab. We're getting divorced and my lawyer told me I didn't have to pay for it. But she wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. $8K is a small price to pay for her hopeful sobriety and treatment of her mental health issues. A new car. I bought a Toyota Camry in 2016. Everyone told me I was crazy. We were in an accident on Thanksgiving 2020 with a drunk driver. That car saved mine and my husband's life. I don't regret it at all. I once bought 30 pounds of candy. $500 on a home inspection. Revealed a whole bunch of problems that would have cost us thousands to fix. Always get an inspection. $9K on a hot tub and its installation. I use it probably 2x a day and for those 30-40 minutes I am almost completely pain free. Sometimes bordering on euphoria. Edit. For those concerned about my procreation opportunities. I don't want any more children except for the four-legged kind. Hopefully my nearly grown children will be able to leave the nest soon. Also, my children would probably tell you having my DNA is a mixed blessing at best. Edit 2. I should have said those concerned about my fertility. I would almost apologize to those who were offended thinking I was talking about sexual acts. Please know that most of my offensive comments are intentional and I sort of wish I had said something more disturbing. I'm a graduate student. I bought a $200 globe that opens up to put my booze inside. No regrets. I was engaged to my high school sweetheart when I was in the military. She had about $5K in credit card debt that had been hanging over her, so I took care of it for her during my first tour in Iraq. I had no bills of obligations. Why not? Well, I spent another $4 or $5K coming home on leave mid-tour and furnished our apartment, before going back downrange. When my deployment tour ended, I came home and had to find out from my sister that some other dude, was seeing my fiancé registered sign and one had been living in the apartment with her the better part of 6 months. When she found out I was back, she ghosted me, changed locks, etc. Her mother apologized to me in the neighborhood grocery store. I regretted it for a long time. Mostly being angry. But I don't regret it anymore. It was a far less painful lesson than the ones I've seen men in their 40s come to terms with. At least I got my medicine in my 20s. My divorce. My fiancé registered sign and I dropped close to $3,000 on a kitchen table and coffee table from Carolina game tables. The kind where you can take the top off and have a board game space underneath. They're comparatively plain compared to some you see online. No lights or USB ports. No cubbies, drawers or cup holders. Just really solidly built solid wood tables where the top comes off. But hot damn, they've been awesome. We use them all the time. One unexpected use was Legos. I got a Lego set and started building it on the coffee table, and when I needed to stop for the night I just put the lid on until I was ready to continue. Don't regret a cent. When I tell this to anyone, they think I might have overspent or wasted. So here we go. Spent around $3,000 for my parents' 25th anniversary. I gave them 25 gifts each day and the last few days' gifts were pretty grand. The reaction I received from them makes it so worth it. I bet a few $100s on the opposition when my team was in the grand final. won. And I was still very happy. Edit. I wasn't literally playing in the team. My wedding dress probably. If you are counting waste, as only wore it for 12 hours. It was about $650, but it is the most beautiful thing I have worn ever will wear. I mean, $650 for a wedding dress isn't half bad. I finally spent high bank and got a super pretty Predator 1440 monitor for my PC. Whoa. Worth it. GPUs and frame rates are what I thought I wanted. But oddly, the best video upgrade is actually the thing that displays the video. Who knew? Lol. My Nintendo Switch. It's the Animal Crossing edition and I just needed it. I spent some savings on a really nice used motorcycle about 2 months into the 2020 lockdown, May 2020. Went on rides every weekend on back roads into the country until the winter kicked in. This kept me sane and was very mentally therapeutic. Don't regret spending the money at all. Currently winter, so I have a bike but can't ride until it warms up again. Going a little stir crazy, but the first day it's warm I am riding. I bought kitty ear headphones. I'm not a streamer. I'm also a guy. I like my kitty ear headphones. My first paycheck I bought a $900 wedding cake. Me and my brother had no way to get it home since it didn't fit on our skateboards. We just had a cake fight in the parking lot. My brother passed away shortly after that. I still think about that day whenever I'm sad. Edit. For everyone asking. I worked as a window cleaner. I'd rappel down the side of 30+ story buildings. I wouldn't like to guess how much I spent total on it. But cosplay. Used to be really into it and going to conventions. Nothing bad happened to make me quit. I just noticed that I was starting to have less and less fun with it, so I stopped. Perhaps I'll hit up a few events once things are safe again for old time's sake. But I can't see myself being as into it as I was. Still, I had a really good time. Met some very nice people and learned some sewing craft skills which I still use. So it was worth the money. My grandfather absolutely loves the Beatles. He listens to their music every day. He doesn't speak English, but he always tries his best to sing along. It's so endearing. I had heard that Paul McCartney was coming to town for a concert. When I checked the ticket availability, there were only a few left and they were quite pricey. Especially for me, a high school student at the time. But I was determined to get him a ticket. And I did. I decided to present the ticket to him on my birthday since the concert would be just a few days afterwards. When I gave my grandfather the ticket, he had broken into tears and hugged me so hard. I had never seen him so happy. The smile didn't leave his face for the rest of the day. Leading up to the concert, he would talk to everyone about how he was going to see Paul McCartney and that he had the most thoughtful granddaughter in the world. About $1,500 in emergency room costs in an attempt to save my cat. She didn't make it. But I think I would have felt worse if I didn't even try. Hardest cry of my life. My entire RC car collection. Somewhere between $5.7k so far. And my 20s. I've blown 5-2k on strip clubs on a few separate occasions. No regrets. It was awesome fun. Half my money went on booze and hookers. Sold everything. Bought a sailboat. Moved my family of 5 onto it and spent 1/2 years cruising the Eastern Caribbean with them. No idea what the total cost was, well north of $100k. But was worth every penny. My $2,800 Sphinx who had to have a $3,200 surgery at 3 to save his life. Love that little effer. Did his nose fall off? Lego Slave Eye. It's on display at the moment. If I didn't regret it, then it wasn't a waste of money. My biggest splurge was probably when I was backpacking up New Zealand, and in Queenstown I spent a few $100s to ride horses around some of the Lord of the Rings filming locations. Was it insanely expensive? Yes. Is it worth it? Hell yes. A racing wheel for video games. I haven't used it a lot so far, but the few times I did use it, it was awesome and immersive as F. I bought a $100 Christmas tree stand after my Walmart Christmas tree stand couldn't handle the absolutely chonktacular Christmas tree my wife wanted. I got so out of I went on Amazon and found this German engineered tree stand that cost a little over $100. This year, because of how terrible it was, she needed an even bigger tree to soothe her 2020 woes. And this ein German Christmas tree holder was a goddamn champion. I mean, whoa. The tree we got was over 12 feet tall. It took 4 guys to pull it through the baling machine. And when me and my neighbor dragged it into my house, we damn near broke our backs. But the German engineered Christmas tree stand was exactly as advertised. I might even buy a bigger one next year, just to see what the limits are. Lawyer money to get a restraining order against my crazy ex and a new visitation agreement that required supervision. A waste because it didn't need to happen if the damn guy could just be a functional adult or address his mental health issues. But absolutely money well spent for me in terms of peace of mind. Realizing this now when I'm having a kid. All of the baby stuff that will at most get used once. Keep it clean. And resell it. Or, if you haven't bought it all yet, buy it used. 90% of my kids' clothes and 75% of their gear toys were bought second-hand. Goodwill. Kids consignment resale stores. FB Marketplace. As long as I can scrub it down with Clorox spray or throw it in the washer, I'm in. Especially newborn infant stuff that only gets used for like 3 months. Most kids resale stores will have swings, bouncers, ICSI saucers, bassinets, etc. like new condition at 50% off retail. I wanted a Graco 6-in-1 high chair booster system, but it cost $165 new. Found one on FB Marketplace that had been used less than 1 year for one kid. Like new condition. $75.